Okay, so we're going to start by adding the image to our workspace. I'm going to use the scale to fit, and then I'm going to edit the image and crop it just a little bit just to make it a little easier to work with. And I'm just going to scooch those sides in just a little bit. Once I have it where I want it, I'm going to hit save. And then I'll close out of the editing. And then next I'm going to create an offset. This is just going to allow me to have a cut area. I'm just going to do the outer shape only. And then I'm just going to do about 1/4 of an inch, but just do whatever looks good to you or whatever works for your design. Hit confirm. And then I'm going to change it over to cut because I want to cut it out. Then next I'm going to do the text function, and I'm just going to look for some different fonts. And this is just a way that you can customize this, personalize it. And so I'm just looking for a font that I like for this particular design. It might just depend on what text you have, what design you have, really just whatever look you're going for. I kind of like this one here, so I can adjust the size, move it around where I want it. And then if you notice, I have it selected as engraved because I would want to engrave this. And then I'm just did a copy and a paste. And then I'm just doing a distance, for example. So if it's a half marathon, we can put 13.1 miles or whatever distance the race is for. And then you could also do a date. You could do a year. Really, whatever you want to put, it's up to you. But for this particular one, I'm just going to do the design as it is without any personalization. And right now I'm just grouping those together, and I'm just going to adjust the size, and I want it to be 5 by 7. And I click that little thing in the middle there. I don't know what it's called, but just to make sure that I could do exactly 5 by 7 there. And then next I'm going to make some rectangles that are going to have some rounded corners. I'm doing them about about 1/4 of an inch by 2 inches in height. This is going to be what the ribbon goes through for the metal. And so I'm going to copy and paste about 9 of those. And what I'm doing here is taking a circle, using that as a guide, pretending that's a metal. For instance, it's just 4 by 4 inches. And I'm just going to arrange those 9 oblong rectangles. I don't know exactly what to call them, but I'm just going to arrange those within that circle for the ribbon. So here, this is where you see the copy and paste. And then I'll just go through and place those within that circle. One of the things that I've noticed is that, when you're dragging with the mouse of your computer, the program kind of wants to put it where it wants to. You might have to use the arrows on your keyboard to make some fine adjustments on those. So get them where you want them. So rotate all the other ones so then that way that they're horizontal instead of vertical. And again, just placing them within that circle. And again, it's just meant to be a guide. You might need to make some adjustments just depending on what your design is, where you want the placement. And you may not even need this many oblong holes to be cut for the ribbon. Maybe you want less, and that's okay. It's really just to show you a technique and how to use the program a little bit more. So I'm just continuing to make those adjustments here. And then we'll do the next ones for the top. Again, rotate all of those. And these are going to be cut out. So we don't want them too close together because we don't want the holes to run together and just end up with one large hole there. So I'm just making them a little spaced out. Yeah, see there again, that mouse, it just kind of puts it where it wants. So just use that keyboard, the down arrows or up and down arrows to get them where you want. Move that circle out of the way. And then I can make some adjustments here, make sure they're lined up. that last one in place. Alright. And then what I'll do is I'll group all these together, highlight them all, and then group them just so I can move them all together. And then I'll place them over the image. Basically, I'm going for the metal to look like it's the shell for the turtle, is what I'm doing here. So I might have to make some adjustments, move some things around, maybe do some resizing. Again, a lot of it's just trial and error. There's no right or wrong way. It just depends on your design and what you're looking for. And then I don't need that circle anymore because it was just a guide. We'll just delete it. Look at things here. I think I want to make some adjustments. I'm not quite liking how it's covering a lot of things here, so I'll just move those out of the way, and then again just make some slight adjustments to make it work a little bit better with my design. Move things in just a little bit more. Alright, and I think I'm happier with that. Again, group them and then I'll move them back over the image. Alright, and then I'm going to make sure my machine is connected. And then I'm going to choose my material. I'm going to start out by doing basswood. This is just going to be a test run. And so just to see if I'm happy with the engraving, where it's cutting, where those holes are going to be for the ribbon of the metal. And it's just a way to use maybe some scrap wood to try to do something less expensive than just trying it on my acrylic and you know, a more expensive material. So this will just make sure that I like where things are going before I do my final material. So I'm going to mark the area. So I'm going to choose the rectangle and start marking. And then once I have that set, I'm going to walk over to the machine, and I've got some scrap wood here, and I'm just measuring out the area that I want it to cut in on that wood, so you can just kind of see where I'm using that crosshatch to know where I can place that. And I use that plus button each time to mark it. And then you'll see the screen here, add those marks. We'll hit end marking and then hit done. And then I'll highlight everything just to make sure it all moves with it, and we'll move it down into place where we marked. And then we'll also need to measure the distance, and we can use the auto function for that. You'll see that here shortly. And the machine will just automatically measure that when it's ready to. And then I just make sure that I have my settings where I want them. And everybody's settings could be different. It just depends on what you're using. Here you can see how long this is going to take to process. And then I'll hit the start button, and then the start button on the machine itself. Make sure you use all your safety precautions and do the safety training and all the things that your machine manufacturer recommends. And then here we have the machine starting to do the engraving process. So we'll let the machine do its thing, and then we'll come back and take a look at the final product here. All right, hit finish, and then this is what the holder looks like on wood. If you like it on wood, you could leave it on wood. Like I said, I just wanted to try it out on a less expensive piece of material before I went with the acrylic. Acrylic costs a little bit more than these sheets of basswood. And so this is what it looks like here. I think I'm pretty happy with that. There's the back. And then I'm just going to hit finish, and then I'll go back to my workspace, and then I'm going to change it to acrylic. And my settings might differ than what yours will. It just depends on the material, the manufacturer. I just keep a log of my settings. I keep it on a SQL database because I'm nerdy like that. But you can use it in a notebook, a spreadsheet, you know, just something that you have access to that you're comfortable using is really what it boils down to. I'm just going through similar steps here. So there's my SQL query that I use for my settings. And like I said, I'm just nerdy like that. That's just me. I like keeping things like that. We'll practice for some other things that I like to do. So again, you don't have to use that. It's just something that I do. A notebook is probably easy, and then that way you don't have to worry about, you know, if your computer crashes or losing it from a cloud or something. So here I'm just making those adjustments, and then now I'm going to mark it again because I'm using a new material, so the placement could be a little bit different. We're going to use the rectangle again. And we'll go to the machine and just mark those and use that plus button on the front of the machine each time that you're marking. So you're going to go corner to corner, and then you'll see where it does that on the screen here as I'm doing it on the machine. And then we'll hit end marking. And have a square, and then we'll hit done. And then I'll highlight everything again and just move it into that square. And just find a good placement for it, whatever works for the material that we have here. And then we'll want it to measure the distance again just to make sure that the distance didn't change. It might have changed. Materials can have a little bit different thickness. And just move it a little bit further. There we go. And then when I'm ready, I'll hit process. Of adjusting here. Okay, and then we'll hit process, and again you'll be able to see how long it's going to take. And again, make sure you take all your safety precautions and use what the manufacturer recommends. And then I'll press the start button on my machine once I'm ready for that to go. Let the machine do its thing. Always make sure you stay nearby just to make sure there's no issues. And here's the machine. It's actually in the cutting part of the process here. It's already done most of the engraving. And then once it's done, we'll hit the finish button. As long as we're happy with everything there. And then we'll open up the machine, move those clips out of the way. I'm not sure what those clips are called. Are they called clips? I don't know. What do you think the name is? Just put in the comments below what those are really called. And then move that material out of the way. You might have to dust some of it off. There might be a little bit of residue. Sometimes I do a little rinse under water, and then just a soft cloth to wipe things off a little bit. Right, and then I'm going to show how I wrap the metal into it. So I'm going to take the ribbon and put it through that top hole and just pull that metal all the way up, and then I'll flip it over and go through that second hole, so that middle hole from the top, and then loop back around the front through that third hole there, and then pull that loop through, and then I'm going to go right back in through that next hole and then loop back through that very bottom hole. And this, you know, maybe just the 5 holes there are plenty, but you have a lot of excess ribbon. So the next I'm going to work my way into that very next hole onto the right, and then the most right outer, loop back in, and then the next to the left, and then the most left, loop back in, and then we'll have some excess. So I just tuck it in. You can maybe secure it with some kind of a clip or something that you might have, but that's pretty secure there for me. I'm pretty happy with that there. And then I put it in its little stand holder, and then it's ready to go on my desk or my shelf or wherever I want to put it. All right, so here's the final product, and I hope you liked it, and thanks for watching.